I know on this particular show, I tend to want to talk James Gunn Superman because we are fans of Superman around here, and we routinely have very little faith of what's coming in July. And a plot leak dropped today. Okay. Superman plot leak. James Gunn makes online trolls Superman's new kryptonite. Now, remember, this is a rumor and a plot leak. But so far, a lot of the plot leaks are lining up with what we're seeing in trailers and information, and everything's sort of lining up here. So we're gonna now. I know I haven't used Matt McGloin at Comic Book News as a source in a very, very long time, but this is where the article is. So we're gonna go with it. Bizarre rumored plot for James Gunn's Superman has surfaced online, which claims the Man of Steel gets dragged into the world of cancel culture. In the leak, it's claimed that James Gunn sets up Superman to be battered by social media hate, which apparently makes the Man of Steel feel bad. What's the exact quote? In the movie, Superman is frustrated by social media backlash with the hashtag super shit being mentioned several times as really getting under his skin. Meanwhile, in Lex's interdimensional world, whatever the hell that is, hundreds of mutant monkeys are shown typing furiously at keyboards, flooding social media with hate against Superman.
Okay, that's retarded.
Oh my god.
That's retarded. So that is a direct reference to that old thing about if you had infinite chimps and infinite typewriters, eventually one of them would type the complete works of Shakespeare by mere chance, kind of shit. That's they're talking about. They're saying that people who like us are fucking retarded, is what they're saying.
Yeah. If this is true, and Clark, Superman, Kal-El is feeling very sad because of online trolls, this movie is worse than we thought. Because you know what they're doing? They're taking this is She-Hulk all over again. Then it's She-Hulk all over again. And how did that work out? It didn't work out very well. So
yeah,
I mean, go ahead.
Sorry, I was grunting in frustration. Yeah. This is going to be fucking bad, man. I'm just going to go watch me some George Reeves Superman versus the Mole Men after this to cleanse my goddamn palate.
Well, here's the thing, though. Show me a moment in all our coverage of this where we get something and it has sort of not lined up with what we've seen. It's been lining up left and right. From the trailers with Ultraman, to with that last clip we saw with the Fortress of Solitude, with the robots and the quippiness of it, the CGI crypto shit, where he's a bad dog, he's a good dog but a bad dog. He's done one of this. Go ahead, though.
That's exactly what I was like. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we were afraid of has been not confirmed, but we're seeing it, and we're like, like you said, with the crypto pouncing on him and shit, and making this. I said it from the very beginning. I was afraid that he was gonna make Guardians of the Galaxy. He was gonna have his fucking crappy humor when that's not Superman to me. I don't know. I hate now with this whole movie thing that we're seeing, where they keep trying to interject the
real world,
what's happening, real world scenarios into movies. We've seen it multiple times now, where essentially it's Trump as the bad guy, like with 1980 whatever,
84.
Wonder Woman,
84. Wonder Woman 84.
Those kind of just I'm so sick of it. It never works out. It hasn't worked not one freaking time where it's come up and people are, that makes sense. No, it always turns bad because they use it as some interjection point for all the crap they want to bitch about. And that's exactly what you're going to have now. I wouldn't be surprised if they start showing clips from like YouTube and there's like a Gary knockoff, right? Like some F&T type knockoff where there's a panel of nerds and they're all sitting there going, this guy's such a joke and pathetic and shit, right? Because obviously they're gonna fucking be that lame. So I don't know. It sounds so crappy, and it's another kind of stone in the shit pile of what this movie might be.
The thing is though, you just said it. James Gunn has a certain pattern, and it's fair to say this is completely believable of James Gunn that he would do this in a movie, that he would make internet trolls part of the problem just to own the nerds and the chuds who criticize him all the time.
Yeah, plus the wording of the headline, I know, is probably supposed to rile people up and all that shit, but honestly, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a Superman movie where kryptonite wasn't in it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kryptonite, there's several things in the trailer that would kind of hint that there has to be some form of kryptonite, because we see him imprisoned at one point in some glass, and all I know is that it's May in 2 days. May, June, and July 14th is the premiere of this movie. So literally 2.5 months. We are 2.5 months from the premiere of this movie. And it's not like, I'm not saying I need to know what the movie is, but at this point, we don't even have a synopsis of the plot in terms of what is the overall, what are we going into in this movie? I mean, say what you will about Snyderverse and Man of Steel. We knew what the movie was. It was an origin story, which is we knew that it was going to be Superman interacting with the world for the first time. And because it was Snyder, it was people afraid of him, rejecting him. We knew that's what it was going to be. Most movies, other things, you know what you're getting into. We don't, all we know in this movie is that we know bullet points. We know he's already in, Clark is already well into his career as Superman. We know Lois is in on the secret from the trailer. We know Lex hates him. We know there are other superheroes in the DCU that are active, but the Justice League isn't there yet. That's it. We do not know. All we need, you could not tell anybody out. You can't, there's nobody out there really that could say in one sentence, what is the plot of this movie? What is the, and I'm not saying tell me every little detail. I'm saying, what is this movie going to be about? Nobody has it. Nobody can tell you this.
Well,
not legitimately.
And there's so with the cast of characters that we do know about, there are kind of issues timeline wise. If the Justice League is not a thing, why the fuck does Guy Gardner have a ring? It should have been Hal Jordan first, right? Hal Jordan was the Green Lantern who first joined the Justice League. If Shara Hall is there, where the fuck is Carter Hall? Because at that stage, she would not have been there on her own. That was later. Right. If Metamorpho, I'll give him that. Metamorpho was a villain before the Justice League became a thing. He reforms eventually though, and goes on to join Justice League Europe along with Guy Gardner. So I don't know, maybe that's where they're going with this. Ultraman, there are two versions of Ultraman. There's the clone version, which only happened like briefly in an alt comic back in the 60s. And then they took that idea and they created Earth 3 Ultraman with the Syndicate, who is actually Superman, but from another universe, right? So either way they're going with that, I don't know, because the whole cloning thing probably ties in with Lex Luthor, right? Lex Luthor is the one who does all that shit. Problem is there have only been, aside from that one off Ultraman in the beginning that they didn't really do anything with after, there have only ever been like 2 other clones, unless you count Hank Henshaw, who used Superman's DNA when he rebuilt himself as Cyborg Superman, but I don't count that.
He's not a clone.
Because he just used his DNA to build himself a new body, but he's not actually a clone of Superman.
Or Connor.
Yeah, Connor is one of them, but Connor is also half Lex Luthor's DNA. He's half human. He's not a full blood Kryptonian. Yeah. And the other one is Bizarro. the original Bizarro was a failed clone of Superman, which is why all his shit's reversed. He's not actually from Bizarro world. That came later.
Yeah. Now
So maybe this guy becomes Bizarro. I don't know.
You bring that up. No. Go back a year ago when we first talked about the leaks. That is the leak that this Ultraman becomes Bizarro in the movie.
Which means he's a flawed clone and not actually Ultraman.
Yeah. They're calling him Ultraman, but it's really going to be a failed clone that becomes Bizarro. So that's in the mix. We know that Lex is in the mix, and we knew that Lex was in the mix, everything's around. But now, if this social media thing is true, this makes it very lame and very basic and not creative at all. And just James Gunn yelling at nerds who are critical of him. And on top of that, remember that original picture that dropped that got us all saying, why is he putting on his booties when there's a fight going on outside with the giant alien eyeball?
Mm-hmm.
That's real. We see that in the trailer. So at some point, which looks like the end of the movie, there's going to be this giant alien eyeball trashing the city, and he's having a moment putting his clothes on where Lois is going to kissy face him before he goes out and plays. And then there's Mr. Terrific in there too. We forgot about him. So there is so much junk in this movie.
And it's the wrong Mr. Terrific for that era, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
it's the new guy.
And you got to remember, you brought up why is Guy Gardner there? Because Hal Jordan isn't. Because Hal Jordan's off in a TV series doing stupid shit.
Right. So why pick Gardner though? He is the least popular, the least liked Green Lantern because he's an asshole.
Mm-hmm. And because he wanted to give what's his name? Shit, I forgot his name. Actor.
Nathan
Fillion. We want to give Nathan, because Nathan Fillion's his buddy, wants to make sure he gets him in the movie.
Nathan Fillion could have played fucking, Hal Jordan if they weren't dicking around with who can have what characters.
Because they've already given it to that dude. He's another dude with because John and Hal are going to be off doing a freaking detective show without their rings on.
I still think it could work because they are already saying that the fucking patents in Batman and the new whatever they're doing with Batman are going to exist simultaneously too in separate fucking universes. Why couldn't they do that here?
But the Hal and John are part of the DCU.
No. Do they already have plans with Booster Gold? Because I think he would be better as Booster Gold.
There are only rumors of Booster Gold.
I agree with Devil. He'd be a much better Booster Gold.
But maybe the Indian dude that we talked about last time when that came up. If that rumor
makes no sense. But yeah, okay. Well, he was blonde and blue-eyed and very, very white, but okay.
It doesn't make there's a whole lot of confusion because all three major Green Lanterns are already existing in the DCU, but they've sequestered John and Hal to be True Detective on Earth, not even leaving Earth, on Earth. We've seen the set shots of them walking down the dirt road in their civvies. So they're there. So Guy Gardner being here, and Nathan Fillion's on the record. Guy Gardner's there to be an asshole, which is true. Guy Gardner is an asshole, which is why nobody likes him. Mm-hmm. So, but I go back to what I said a few minutes ago. We just detailed all the junk that is in this movie. There's not a clear byline of what this movie is about. There isn't.
I have a guess, but yeah.
Oh, we have guesses.
I think logically, given who's in the movie and all that, I mean, Metamorpho's going to play some role. He's probably going to, see the error of his ways and join the heroes to fight off, whatever becomes the main bad guy.
There's a kaiju in there. Remember, there's a kaiju at one point.
Yeah, but that's going to be pretty early in the film, I think. I think the bad guy's going to be fucking Ultraman / Bizarro in the end. And it's going to take all their might because none of the usual shit that Weekend Superman works on him because he's fucking backwards because he's badly made. But I think probably that's what'll happen. Initially, Ultraman is going to, because I mean, you notice the costume he's wearing a mask. He's concealing his fucking features. He's doing that. Yeah. Because when he doesn't have that mask on, he's out there fucking ruining Kal-El's reputation. I think that's why people are spitting on Kal-El. That's why he hangs his head all the time. I think at the beginning when he shows up in Antarctica and he's all beat to shit, I think Ultraman put him there, in that state so that he could go and fucking wreak havoc on his reputation. And that's where they're gonna go with this. It'd be like he was built to fucking tear him down.
You're not wrong. That's a distinct possibility. And Lex is the one pulling the strings, and all I know is that this movie has always sounded like a mess, and you include this reality, real world bullshit into it. Now, this might not be a major point of the movie, but the fact that it exists at all lowers the quality and proves James Gunn doesn't give a shit. I mean, Superman would not be Mr. Sulky Face because some online trolls are shitting on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not who Clark is. Clark is.
He might be if he might be if somebody who looks like him went and dropped the Eiffel Tower on a bunch of tourists, though.
Who knows? We're gonna find out in 2.5 months. I'm still waiting for one more real trailer to tell us what this movie's about. I'm not saying give away the plot, but tell us what to expect when we go and see it. So
I think they're gonna keep it completely vague, and they're just gonna expect that the name Superman's somehow gonna draw people out, and I think it might hurt them.
And you know what's gonna happen? Word of mouth of a mid to bad movie will sink this shit fast, and everything's gonna play out like I said it will play out. Dinosaurs win, Superman comes in second, and Baby Step shits the bed. Even worse than Superman. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.